Playing at Ronnie Scott's today has been completely amazing. It's somewhere that I've come to see incredible musicians, so it's kind of humbling. Doing a cover in Ronnie Scott's is also a little bit embarrassing, cause but yeah, I played my songs at Ronnie Scott's. It's pretty cool. Grace Kelly's a really important song thematically for the record. I wrote it when I was really angry, which people get really surprised about because it sounds so happy. But it's about trying to find yourself and sticking to what you believe, and a year later that was a song that helped me get signed. So Grace Kelly is kind of like a pivotal song for this album. For my writing, Love Today is really important, and it just makes me smile. Billy Brown, why do I do it? Because it's good, and I love it. It's such a kind of burlesque mini saga, and it's really fun to do that kind of vaudeville one-man show thing at the piano. I think I really did my interpretation today because it's not high, and I just kind of gave myself a break by singing that one. But it's a good song, and give it some shape. So that's why I did those songs. I did Harry Nilsson. Well, it was originally sung by Harry Nilsson, even though he didn't write it. It was for the movie Midnight Cowboy, and the song's called Everybody's Talking at Me. I'm a huge Harry Nilsson fan, mostly for his vocals, also for his writing. But it just seemed kind of like a nice tip to the hat. This is the first kind of cover I've ever had to do. I have a problem with covers because I find them really tricky. Because I taught myself how to play the piano, so everything that I write, I play in my own kind of particular style. And so whenever I have to play anybody else's song, it's really hard. It's like complete dyslexic breakdown. It's a bit stressful, but as long as I'm doing a song I really love, it makes it a little bit easier. The album's called Life in Cartoon Motion, and it's kind of a coming-of-age album. It's an album that I could only really make at this point in my life because some of the songs were written when I was, at school or just leaving school, and then I went to the Royal College of Music where I went to study. So it's really kind of a transition from childhood to, where I am now. I can't really compare it to anybody else that's making records at the moment simply because it kind of breaks so many rules, but I have no problem with that. I feel very comfortable about the way I break rules on this album. I was kind of stuck for a title for the record, but then when I looked through all these different songs on the album, it just got me thinking. I was like, wow, I've taken some pretty serious subjects that a lot of people have to deal with, and I've reduced them to very prime colors and almost to cartoon-like, and that enables me to talk about serious things in a pop song. It's a little bit abstract, it doesn't really make sense. To me that's a good thing because you never want to be too obvious, but it just seemed to fit. And it sounds really funny. I don't think the record company was too happy when they heard my title. They wanted it to be called something really simple, like Love Today or something. I was like, no. My musical influences are pretty enormously diverse. I grew up listening to everything from, Egyptian music to the American songbook. Well, I grew up in various countries. I was born in Lebanon, and then we had to move because of the war, and I grew up in Paris, and then we moved again, and around the age of 9 I ended up in London, and I ended up going to a school in London, and just the whole culture shift and stuff that had happened in my life, it didn't really go down well, so I ended up being taken out of school. I needed to do something, so I got into music. When my voice broke, I was doing a lot of songwriting, and I always knew that I wanted to be a pop songwriter, and I thought there was no shame in admitting that you wanted to be a pop songwriter, and I felt that in pop music I could create this whole world, and I could do whatever I wanted to it, and I could be like the circus master around whatever I wanted to do. It just felt like a better path for me musically and artistically. For years I was laughed at by all the record companies because I was too strange, whatever that means, and I was kind of rejected by the indie crowd because I was writing songs that were too melodic or too poppy as far as they were concerned. So to fast forward a few years to me now, talking to you, it's pretty incredible, and part of it's extremely funny. I'm really excited to see what happens over the next few months because I haven't really released anything yet, and things are going really well, and my tours are going really well, and the live part of it is just so incredible. So yeah, I'm completely buzzing.